All right, welcome back, guys, to season 2 of the Mark It Down podcast. It is officially underway. I'm your host, Coach Mark, here to talk about the games, and everything in between. Today, to kick off season 2, I have a very, very special guest. One of my good friends on TikTok, one of the best basketball creators on TikTok, in my opinion. A true basketball sicko. A true basketball sicko. Introducing to the pod my boy Roundball Renaissance, man. Roundball, how you doing today, man?
Good, man. Appreciate you having me on. I had you on my show not too long ago. I was glad that I'm interesting enough to have you on your show.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna have some good conversation today. But first, my first question for you, like I just introed, you're a basketball sicko. I need the origin story, man. The where, the when, the why, the how, everything. How did you, or I'll say like this, what made you fall in love with the game of basketball?
Yeah, that's all credit to my pops. Shout out to my dad. He's no longer here with us, but if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here in front of you today. I can tell you that for a lot of reasons. He instilled in me this love of the game. He played at the high school level, never played college ball or anything. His high school team was pretty good, and he was a pretty decent player. But his love of West Virginia University, where we're both from, was instilled in me at such a young age that I literally don't even remember a time where I wasn't watching West Virginia University sports. And naturally, I guess, I just kind of gravitated toward basketball and this guy named Kevin Pittsnuggle, which is a pretty big name as far as like the old guard of college basketball. But he was a 6'11, tatted up white kid who was shooting from three, not like this was like 2004 to 2006 or so when I started watching the game pretty heavily. He wasn't just shooting the ball for like that period of time. He was doing that, like, he was shooting 40% from three on like 6 attempts a game his senior year. Unheard of stuff during that time. And I just love the way that he played. My dad had this line where he said that Kevin Pittsnuggle ruined an entire generation of youth basketball for kids in West Virginia, because if you were taller, right? Like I capped out at 6 feet, but all I wanted to do was shoot a three like Kevin Pittsnuggle. So he kind of like ruined the game in that sense. So that's where it started for me. Kevin Pittsnuggle is also the reason that I'm a Boston Celtics fan. He never got drafted. He signed a summer league deal with the Boston Celtics, was employed with them for 92 days, and that has turned into 20 years of me being a fan. And in that time, there's, I mean, the NBA now is a 24/7, 365 league, but there were periods of time where there were dead periods, like the off season, there really isn't anything to do. And I needed something to get me into that mentality again. So I picked up the EuroLeague. I picked up the WNBA. And thank God we have people like Ice Cube and Breonna Stewart and Nafisa Collier, who's bringing it unrivaled in the Big Three, because if they didn't have it, I don't know what I would do in my summer.
Man, great story. Condolences to your father. I think I remember you posting that video. I think that's how we first connected, maybe. But condolences to your father. And that was I was gonna ask you, being from West Virginia, how did you become a Boston Celtics fan? But shout out to Kevin Pittsnuggle, man. Shout out to Kevin Pittsnuggle. Kevin, if you see this, you created a monster. You have created a monster because, man, I also want to give you your flowers, bro. You're consistent and your content is very creative. You're covering not just the NBA. You cover college, you cover women's, like you've mentioned, the unrivaled Olympiacos fan. I didn't forget. I've been peeping you're an Olympiacos fan, which is very like interesting. Like, cause you don't, a lot of people, unless you're from over there, a lot of people aren't big EuroLeague fans, you know? So with all of that being said, what made you want to take that love and start to dump it into making content? When did you start making content, and what kind of like gave you that inspo, like, oh, I'm just going to put this out there for people to see?
That's actually credit to my buddy Riley. We've been friends for 5 or 6 years now. We met through a mutual friend of ours. We, played video games and Discord together, and he approached me at the end of 2023 and he said it was just like a cold DM. He said, "Hey, I'm thinking about becoming a basketball fan. What are some things I need to know?" And it's like the heavens opened up for me. Like, oh my god, all of this basketball knowledge I have up here, I could finally talk to about someone who is like receptive, like who's going to listen to it. So we yapped for like 2 hours straight, just pinging each other back and forth on Discord about basketball and who's the GOAT and like who's hot right now and all these things. He then said to me, "You're going to have these thoughts about basketball anyway. Why don't you make a video about it?" I went, huh, you're right. Yeah, I am going to have these thoughts. I might as well. And, you
There you
know,
go.
I like half committed at first. My first TikTok was actually me like giving my opinion on who I think should be the Eastern Conference and Western Conference Player of the Month in the NBA. But they were just two still images with their stats. It wasn't like, hard committing. I got 30 likes on it, and I went, "Oh, 30 likes, huh? That's pretty
There you
good.
go.
I'm gonna go ahead."
That's all it takes, man. That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
But yeah, if it
Yeah,
wasn't for
no,
Riley,
that's
I don't think that I'd be doing this nearly as consistently for sure.
no. You're definitely consistent. You're constantly putting stuff out. Your series about watching a basketball game from every conference in the NCAA. I think I'm 100% confident it was just you doing that. I don't think there was another creator doing that. You're very consistent. You're always putting content out. Always putting content out. Do you want to pursue content creating full time? Like, is that something you see yourself like actually making money off of, having a career off of, or is this just something that's going to be like a little side
So normally I don't feel like I would be talking this way, but I feel pretty comfortable with you. We've been mutuals for a long time, and I feel when I say it to you, you'll understand it. I feel like I'm pretty good at what I do. And as a matter of fact,
hustle?
I think that I'm better than a lot of people who are in this same space. I think that just outright, I think that there are creators in our own space that suck. And if they're doing that well, I should be able to do that well. So at the end of the day, I would love to be able to start raking in cash, right? Whether that's YouTube or getting a brand deal, like wherever the case is. But even at the most rudimentary level, my dream when I was growing up was to be a journalist, but I didn't know how to hone it. I didn't know what to talk about. So as long as I'm able to get paid for having opinions and being able to talk about something I love, whether that's basketball or music or film or whatever the case is, I think that I would call that a success. I think that I have the most leg up in the basketball space. Not to plug too much of my own stuff this early in the show, but I just got accepted a contributor spot at SB Nation's Salt Lake City Dunk website talking about the Utah Jazz. So, foot in the door kind of
Oh,
thing.
well,
So
that's dope. Oh gosh, congratulations, dog. That's congrats.
thanks, man. I appreciate that. It's
Talk
not a
your
paid
shit, big
thing.
dog.
It's not a paid thing yet, but foot in the door, and if I'm consistent in writing the same way that I am on video production, I would have to imagine that sooner or later someone's going to hire me to be a full time content creator, a full time writer.
Nah, man, that congrats. That's big. And you for sure are better than definitely better than me. I'll put that out there right now. 100%. 100% is better than me. But not like you're definitely one of the for sure best, not better, but one of the best basketball content creators out there. Like I would agree. I'm sure the other guys you've had on your show would also agree. Like, yeah, you're really putting it out there. Your consistency, creativity, the fact that you cover every aspect of basketball is not what a lot of guys are doing. So this opportunity right here for you, you're gonna get into space. You're gonna get into space. I'm glad you did bring up John. You kind of predicted my questions already, man. Because I was gonna ask you like, if not for content, would you want to pursue like sports journalism? And if so, were you inspired or who like the commentators, all the sports media guys, the Cohurst, the Stephen A's, the Broussards, the Shannon Sharps, is there anybody in that media space who inspires you now? And if you do end up pursuing journalism, what do you think that will look like for you? ESPN, FS1, what is that looking
I'm ready for hire, so anybody who's willing to write me a check, I'll put on the gear right now.
like? I love that. I love that.
When I was growing up, and especially people my age, a little younger, maybe a little older, they were very obsessed with the Skip Bayless and Stephen A's of the ESPN world. But for me, PTI was my show. Michael Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser are still my heroes. I wanted to go to Northwestern for my journalism degree. I wanted to be a beat writer, in that area. I wanted to work my way up to ESPN like they did. And to some extent, they're still molding how I would like to carry myself into the next stage, right? I feel as if I am fairly level-headed, not that I'm unsusceptible to being rage baited or being aggravated about something. But I feel like when I make content, it's pretty even keel. It's a very thorough thought process and it's not very reactionary. So I'd like to do that continuously. I don't want to be the next Skip Bayless. I don't want to be the next Max Kellerman. I don't want to be the next Stephen A. I just want to be a well-respected person in the basketball media space.
You wanna be known for what you do. You wanna be respected for what you do. Now I get that 100%. I've been the same way, as you know, being at Georgetown right now, like trying to get my foot in the door in my industry as well. Now I understand you 100% with that. I'm not trying to be big name coach. I just like, me, I'm good at what I do. You know I'm good at what I do. Speaking of rage bait, man, you don't seem to fall for a lot of rage bait, which is great. That's very impressive. A lot of commenters and other creators fall for rage bait very, very easily. I am one. From time to time, I'll throw a little post out there just to get some action, just to get some reactions. I 100% will rage bait, bro. How do you manage to avoid getting into all that with people? Because of course, I go through your comments. I follow you. Of course, I go through your comments, and you don't get many bad comments, but from time to time, you either respond very just blank, no emotion behind it, or you don't respond at all. So how do you avoid all the rage bait? Because with TikTok, it comes a lot of that. There's a lot of that. So how do you manage to not even get caught up?
Again, if this was a different show, if I was less comfortable with a different host, I probably wouldn't be saying this. I have struggled with my mental health for literally half of my life. There's not a person on the internet that hates me more than me. So there's nothing. I'm bulletproof there. There's nothing somebody
Yeah.
can say to me behind a screen. They're just pixels on a screen to me, man. Like they're not,
Yeah.
not to like dehumanize them in any sort of way, but they're not real people to me. Like if you're cool with me, I'm cool with you, and I've always lived by that. But if you're coming off like super hot, first time I've ever seen you comment on one of my videos, you don't follow me, you've never liked any of my stuff, if you're like instantly like at my throat, I don't care. I really don't. And the only time that I've ever really clapped back at somebody is if it's a personal attack on me as a human, not my basketball knowledge, not my takes. We can have an argument about that. But if you're going at me about the way that I look or the way that I present myself, that's one step too far. I will find something to destroy you on your own social media profile.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's attacking the person, not attacking, the take or the video. That, I mean, that's real. Like they are not real people. Like I feel you. Like I remember when I first started my content creating TikTok journey. When I first started actually making basketball takes, and my first video that actually blew up was a video about it was about LeBron. I'm sure it was about LeBron. I'm 100% positive. And I found myself like really going back and forth in my comment section with these people. Like, and I had to take a step back, like, bro, what am I doing? Like, I had to take a step back, like, nah, like, why are you getting so worked up over TikTok, over people that don't know you, you don't know them, you're more than likely never gonna meet them. If they see you, they're more than likely not gonna say anything. Why am I? So I had to take a step back and be like, damn, I need to chill. I need to chill. I need to chill. And now my comment section, when it comes to other people, I just like to troll. I just like to troll, bro. Like I just like to troll. That's just what it is for me. And you can't out troll me. You can't. That's one thing someone's not gonna do. They're not gonna out troll me. But yeah, you do a good job at just even in your original videos, very non-emotional, very even keeled. Like unless it's something Boston Celtics related. But we're not gonna get into that. We're not gonna get into that.
What do you mean Hugo Gonzalez isn't the rookie of the year? What are you talking about?
Oh man, nah. That well, speaking of rookie of the year, let's jump into this real quick because I thought I remember seeing your Cooper Flag video and how he's meant to be a Boston Celtic. On this podcast, I'm gonna tell you right now, brother, it's not happening. It's not
But yeah,
happening.
that
I'm gonna tell you right now. As he is from Maine, we all know Coop is from Maine, brother. It won't happen. It
it's a
won't.
little tongue in cheek on my part. I'll fully admit that. I don't know if you like pay attention to like the descriptions or anything like that on the videos, but the caption on it was ha 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 JK dot dot dot
Unless,
unless
yeah, I
you're
remember.
unless
Yes,
you're serious
unless.
about it. So
Um,
yeah, Coop's probably not going to come to Boston, and if he does, it's going to be like 2034 when it really doesn't matter for us anymore. So I'm hopeful that it does happen because who doesn't love a homecoming story like that for him
absolutely.
to be the main event and then come to Boston? But yeah, it's probably going to be post peak of his powers when we get him.
Speaking of, you did bring up Rookie of the Year. I mean, the Rookie of the Year race is pretty close. In my opinion, it's pretty close. I made a video the other day. I think Coop has solidified himself, but a lot of people still have Khan, which Khan's been balling. A lot of people still have Khan as the front runner. Who do you think should, in your opinion, who you think should take home the Rookie of the Year race this year?
I'm a little aggravated with how the NBA fandom kind of views the awards. I wish there was a more objective like formula to not that we need to like look at spreadsheets to determine our basketball knowledge, but I wish that there was an objective way to figure out who deserves these awards. Like the MVP, the criteria to be the MVP changes every single year, and it's not this consistent through line. In my mind, the rookie of the year is meant for the person who had the best rookie season. And 2 years ago, I got a lot of flack because I said Chet Holmgren had the better rookie season over Victor Wembanyama. And I still believe that post, like, 2 years after the fact, because the award isn't who is going to be the best player in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years at the end of their career. It's who had the best season.
Who
I
had the best?
will say that Coop had a lot of shit thrown his way. Sorry, can I cuss on here? I forgot to ask.
Bro, you're. I'm not sponsored by anybody. No, not yet. We working on it. But no, you're good. You're good, bro. You're good.
Coop had so much like adversity thrown toward him, right? He gets landed in Dallas. And then there's the Anthony Davis. Like, how are you gonna be paired up with him? And then he doesn't play, right? And Kyrie doesn't play at all this year. And then Jason Kidd's like, hey, why don't we play you at point guard for a little bit? And that didn't work. And we've seen in the last 20 games for Coop, he's really turned it on. We can see what he can be in
He's
five,
figured it
10 years.
for sure. He's figured it out.
In my mind, Conknippel has had the better season because he's been more consistent, because he's leading the league in threes as a rookie, which is insane. Theoretically, this is the worst he'll ever be. So the bar is already really high for him.
Yeah,
Yes, he
for
is
sure.
the third, fourth option on his team, but he's more consistent, he's contributed to winning more, and he's excelled in his role more. Again, that doesn't mean that Cooper Flag is the worst player out of the two. If you ask the most casual of casual fans, they're like, you pick between these two guys. Like, yeah, Cooper, obviously. And that's the correct answer if the question is who's the better basketball player. But the answer, in my mind, of who had the better basketball season is Conknippel.
That's a great way to look at it. It's the consistency over the year. Like I said, I think Cooper, the fact that he's finally figured it out and he has been, consistent as a what number one. No, he's got to be number one option. I mean, Kyrie's not playing. Play is old. I just remember they got Chris Middleton. So I mean, like, Coop at the young age, and he's finally figuring it out. I think he has solidified himself. You made a great point. Khan has been consistent the entire season. Khan has been consistent, and Charlotte is winning. They're winning. A lot of people I've been seeing compare this race to Bron and Melo in '03. Bron had Bron won Rookie of the Year. Melo led his team to the playoffs. Their numbers were quite similar. Do you see any similarities in this race, kind of between Cooper and Khan, as the same in '03?
As far as the narratives surrounding it, yes. God, would I love for Continental to just turn out to be Carmelo Anthony. That would do so much for the white boy hoopers like me.
Bro, that would be. Listen, that Canuple jersey, it's already going platinum in frat houses right now as we speak. Like that, it's already going platinum in frat houses as we speak.
I think that in 2003 there was more of an argument of because LeBron was dubbed the chosen one, right? But Carmelo Anthony to that point had the greatest one and done college season we had ever had. So the expectations for him were just as lofty. And the fact that he was able to bring his team to the playoffs as a huge contributor, that only set him up for success. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see it at the highest level, right? LeBron obviously had the better career over over Carmelo Anthony. But ultimately, I narratives, yes. Everything outside of that, I don't think that it's super similar.
The narratives are huge, as we both know. We're both basketball fans, and we're in a way we're in basketball media. Narratives drive everything. So yeah, I get what you're saying. The narratives around it are the same, and I feel like for that, like if Cooper does win, they're for sure gonna compare it to the 03. Like I don't doubt that. There's gonna be the comparisons of oh 03 happened all over again. You know they're gonna take that, and the media's gonna run. The media they're gonna run with it, and that's just gonna be a trending topic. Of course, they're gonna be tied together. I mean, they were teammates at Duke, you know, so of course they're gonna be tied for the rest of their careers. And I think yeah, this Rookie of the Year race is gonna tie them together even more. You know, I hate
I've
that
seen a
it's
lot
so
of
close
people
between. No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I've seen a lot of people call for a co-rookie of the year, and I'm pretty generally anti co awards, no matter the level.
Really,
Yeah, I'm
really.
I'm just not a fan. I'm not a huge football fan, but when Peyton Manning and Steve McNair won the co MVP, thought that was trash. When we had the co rookie of the year in '95, I think I thought. I mean, I was 1 year
Yeah,
old when that
Grant Hill
happened,
and
but
Jason Kidd. Yeah, Grant Hill and Jason Kidd. Yeah.
yeah, I was one at the time. But in retrospect, I thought that was also trash. I think you have to have a definitive winner. Like, just imagine any other scenario, right? The Indy 500 for NASCAR, co-winners of the Indy 500. You can't tell the
Can't
difference.
happen.
A co-winner of Actor of the Year for the Oscars. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So I don't think it should happen in our world.
You think it's a cop out, which I mean, basically it is. Like I get that. Like you think it's a cop out. You know. Yeah, I get that. Pick one. There can only be one. Like you don't hand out two gold medals. You got a gold and you got a silver. You know. So I know I get that 100%. I've never thought about it. The way I feel about Cole, until you brought it up. I've never heard anybody say anything like it till now. But no, I mean that makes a lot of sense. Like there can only be one winner. There can only be one winner. So I mean, no, I get that. And with that, I mean, I get you say you think Connor's the one winner. I think Coop. We'll see in a few weeks. We'll see in a few weeks. But speaking of winning, the WNBA currently they are winning. The ladies are getting paid. I've gotten like 3 notifications today at the time of this recording. There have been $3 million contracts signed in the WNBA. We are both WNBA fans. I'm gonna let you speak on this first. With this new CBA, the girls are getting paid, unrivaled. The future of women's basketball as a whole, where do you see that going? And also the WNBA just standalone. So where do you see women's basketball as a whole? Like where is that going? What's the future that look like?
Well, first and foremost, this whole CBA negotiation only proves that unions work.
For
Like,
sure.
just
Yeah.
as an absolute fact, it works. I saw somebody tweet about it. I have it as a screenshot. I was going to make a video about it. Apologies to this reporter. I don't remember your name off the top of my head. Kelsey Mitchell signed a max deal with the Indiana Fever, $1.4 million. Her previous 8 years in her career earnings were $1.12 million. So she has engulfed her entire career earnings in this one contract year, which is insane. Like,
Crazy dog.
I so first and foremost, shout out to all the players getting paid the big bucks. I think that there has been this really lazy narrative in the last 2 years in particular about this Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese being the Larry Bird and Magic Johnson of the WNBA. super
Uh,
lazy for a lot of reasons. Because if anything, it's Larry Bird versus Dennis Rodman, which wasn't ever going to be a draw if that was the rivalry that it matched up with. So super lazy on that part. And maybe I'm not the right vessel to speak about this given my complexion. It just seems like a really awfully racially charged argument for some reason, as they're white knighting, Caitlin Clark and this great white hope for whatever reason for women's basketball. I don't know why they're doing that, truthfully, but I will say that the attention that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and Paige Beckers, and we're seeing the younger talent come up in the next couple of years, whether that's Sarah Strong or Juju Watkins or Hannah Hidalgo, those kind of fan bases are feeding into what we're seeing now. So we're seeing a we're seeing a $1.4 million max contract in the WNBA, which is fantastic. But at the time the next CBA comes around, if we continue to have this pipeline of fantastic college basketball stars bringing their talent to the WNBA with this ravenous fan base, we're going to be talking about $5 and $10 million max contracts. And then in
yes.
20 years from now, we're talking about $15 and $20 million contracts. Like, it's only the progression of things. And as much legacy and as much brand building and road paving there has been in the last 30 years of the WNBA, I feel like this is really the first true starting point, because you're now above the eight ball. You're before the eight ball, not behind it like you have been.
Yes, yes. Nah, going back to your comment on the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, yeah, it was very racially motivated, which takes away from the sport. In my like, it was. I mean, like for their rookie years, get all the marketing you can get. I'm not gonna. You're a league. You're trying to grow. Like, you've had talent, but there's something still missing. Okay, you get this Caitlin Clark girl. Oh, she can ball. Oh, she's got a rival. She's got Angel Reese. Cool. Get all the marketing you can get out of it. I'm not gonna be mad at it for their rookie seasons, but it continued after that. That's when it becomes a problem. It becomes an issue. It becomes a problem. It's like, okay, what are we doing here? What type of fans are we trying to market to? What's going on here? Let's Okay, cool. We got the drama, we got the story, we got the attention. Love it. Let's focus on basketball now. Let's focus on what Caitlin does very well. Amazing basketball player. Let's focus on what Angel does very well. Another amazing basketball player. Let's focus on their talents now. Let's get all the drama, all the BS, the extra stuff. Let's take that out of it. Yeah, I mean, you made a great point on that. It was they marketed it, they did what they did, but I think they let it get a little bit too much open. And then even today, like, you still go in certain comments, videos about Angel Reese, people bringing up Caitlin Clark. People under Caitlin Clark videos bring up Angel Reese. I think similar to like I mentioned with, well, not in the same manner as Khan and Cooper, but Angel and Caitlin are gonna be tied. They are forever. From that moment where Angel hit Caitlin with the ring me and the not the ring me. That was, I'm tripping. She did the you can't see me. Yeah, I'm thinking of I just got engaged. You know that.
Yeah.
So no, she did the you can't see me. Uh, but yeah, like they're forever gonna be tied for the wrong reasons, and I hate that so much, because we can really just focus on their talents and what they do on the court. But yeah, like there's gonna be 5 million, 10 million. Honestly, I think Asia Wilson, if anything, should crack close to 5 million this season or whenever she's due for her next contract. Like, I think she should be the first $5 or $10 million WNBA player, 100%. But Juju's coming up for sure. Hannah's coming up for sure. There's a lot of talent coming, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it, man. I really, really am excited for the future of the WNBA. They're finally getting some recognition. I've been a WNBA fan since about 2014. Whenever I was freshman year of high school, sophomore year of high school, I remember I was on the basketball team and we had an assignment and we had to list like 4 or 5 WNBA players, and I think I was the only person who could list like 4 WNBA players. You know, and like it goes back, like, I just love watching hoops. So I mean, I'm happy the WNBA, they're finally, hopefully we can get some very positive light, get some better TV deals. and the girls can keep making their money. You know, that's what I'm looking forward to. Like you said, we got a lot of talent coming in. I'm so excited to see Juju back on the court for sure.
I wasn't super locked into the WNBA until 2011. More was, always will be my GOAT. That's my girl. But I first was drawn to the WNBA in 2008 when Candace Parker came into the league. A eighth grade English, like senior pro, or not senior project, my semester project for them was finding a business and talk about exponential growth within the business. And I picked the WNBA, and it literally just started because I saw what Candace Parker did with Pat Summitt at Tennessee, and I don't know why it didn't like dawn on me before, but I thought to myself, wow, it's a damn shame that I'll never be able to see Candace Parker hoop again. That sucks. And someone was like, what about the WNBA? I'm like, the what now? The what? So they turned me on, and I'm like, oh, there's 10 teams. Okay, I can get down with this. And then after that, again, after Maya Moore showed up, I was locked in, always have been, to the jeers of a lot of my peers, unfortunately. But I think as 14 years removed from Maya Moore getting drafted, I have been proven right time and time again.
Bro, Maya Moore, I'm so glad you brought her up. She is easily my favorite WNBA player ever. Like, had she not retired early for a good cause, by the way, I will say that. Had she not retired early, I think she could have been the greatest women's basketball player. No, this now we didn't get to see Cheryl Miller in the W. There was no WNBA when Cheryl came. When Cheryl easily could have been that. We hear the stories about Cheryl, but for what Maya Moore, what she did in high school in UConn, when she went undefeated her entire career, which is insane, by the way. Goes to the W, she's winning. She could have been the greatest women's basketball player had she not retired early. But now, I mean, I think A'ja Wilson is on that path. If not, to some people, she already is. You know, I think A'ja Wilson for sure is the season she just had. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, like she nah. I think A'ja for sure is on that trajectory to be the greatest. You guys, how you feel about
The resume's tough to beat. I'm
that, bro?
three championships, 4 MVPs, defensive player of the years.
Defensive player of the year. Yeah, A'ja. Oh man, she's crazy. I mean, and there's so many like that. Candace Parker could be in that conversation. For a while, I had Diana Taurasi as my GOAT. Love Diana Taurasi, but A'ja, bro, she's been cooking. She's been cooking. She has 100% been cooking. Speaking of A'ja, let's get into her man and his
Mr. Wilson,
historic performance. Let's talk about that. There's been, because we talked about narratives earlier, there was a lot of talk about Bam's 83-point game. And I haven't really had a chance to talk about, I get busy with work. I haven't had a chance to have a conversation about it. What better way to talk about it than with you? Let's talk about this 83-point game. How do you feel about Bam's performance?
There's a couple of cliches that I think have to be taken into consideration when you're talking about something like this. The first and foremost one is records are meant to be broken. If I had the opportunity to break Kobe Bryant's record of 81 points in a game and to become the second all-time leading scorer in a game in NBA history, you bet your ass I'm doing it. I mean, the closest I'll ever get to it is doing that in 2K, and I did it a lot. I was going for Wilt's record. So you think I'm going to stop at 81 out of respect? No, thanks. I'm good on that.
Fair. Absolutely.
The other thing I think needs to be mentioned in this, it also brings me back to another, unfortunately, very racially motivated argument and narrative that was in the air at the time. And I don't know how plugged in you were at the time, but you remember 2015, 2016, when Cam Newton was like Super Cam, won the MVP, the Panthers with the Super Bowl. All right, so his whole thing was ripping his shirt open like Superman, Super Cam.
Superman, yeah.
And there was a huge talking point on ESPN and Fox Sports 1 and all these other things. Like, well, That's just not very professional. That's not how an NFL player should act. And again, like people who have brains can see right through that and what that actually means. But my argument to the whole thing was if you don't like it, stop it. If you don't want him to do the super cam celebration on you, don't let him score a touchdown. It's really just that simple.
That's
And and while we can talk about the last 6 minutes of that game or so against the Washington Wizards being, I'm trying to think of the most flattering word I could use for it, icky and
icky. Yeah,
unethical.
icky could work. Icky, unethical, whatever you want to use. I mean, 83 is 83. I don't care how we got it. That's been my.
And you know, this isn't SGA's fault. This is watching basketball through box scores and watching just the highlights. The Shea Gilgeous-Alexander of it all has really tainted the conversation too, because people were like, well, just imagine what Cooper Flagg could do if he got 43 free throws. Imagine what Kobe would have scored if he had 43. They were fouling him. There were like, I watched the whole game. I saw two trips that were like, I don't know if that was a foul. I don't know if I would have called that. I probably would have kept that in my pocket. The other 25 times that he was fouled were fouls. And it's really hard to argue against that. Like,
100%. Nah, I mean, yeah, like a lot of people were complaining. I don't know where all this complaining about free throws is came from. I hate it. I hate the conversation so much because free throw. It's a part of the game. Free throws, it is a part. I don't care if you shoot one or you shot 100 free throws. Free throws is part of the basket. It's a part of the game. Get If you get fouled, you get free throws, right? And back to your point of the whole, if you don't like it, then stop it. That's how I feel about today's fans. Like not just the 83-point game, but the amount of complaints. Like I feel like fans today watch the game just to complain. They don't watch it for enjoyment. And it's like if you don't like what you're watching, stop watching. Like no one's forcing you to pay for a Peacock subscription so you could catch these Thursday night games. Dog. Like no one is forcing you to have that Prime Video subscription so you can watch the playoff. No one's forcing you. Stop watching the games. I don't like watching Shea play. Stop watching OKC. Problem solved. All your stresses will go away. I guarantee it. If you just stop doing things like I don't understand it. It's so frustrating. But to stick on the topic of Bam's 80-point game, I mean it's like there's nothing but complaints. Now, most of the complaints I will say came from Kobe fans. Now, I myself, as a basketball fan, love Kobe. 100% love Kobe. I've watched his 81-point game time and time and time and time again. I'm not gonna say I was like up here like, oh yeah, Bam broke the record, but I wasn't up here complaining. I was like, oh cool, record broken, as it should be, right? A lot of the complaints I noticed came from Kobe fans, mainly simply because Kobe's record was broken, right? I feel as if it was someone else who broke the record, or if Bam would have just stopped at 80, it wouldn't have been this much. I don't think it would have been this much outrage. That's just how I feel about it.
the I think a lot of it too is the fact that Kobe's no longer with us, like to speak about it. So a lot of his fans feel like they need to speak on behalf of him, which is insane. Like that's the definition of a parasocial relationship because they've never met Kobe and Kobe never met them. Like it's really a silly conversation to have. But let's just imagine for a second that we were able to get some sort of like super serum, like from Marvel, or we were able to develop some sort of cloning technology, and we were able to put Kobe Bryant's player profile in the 2017 draft class with Bam. If Bam went out and scored old Kobe's 80 or 83 and surpassed that Kobe, this new Kobe, this brand new 2017 draft Kobe would be trying to break that record. Like it's not that's the competitive drive, it's competitive nature. And I will say that because the stigma of, oh my God, that's Kobe's 81, no one should ever break that. Now that it has been broken, I think there's a chance that we're going to see people like Devin Booker and Luka Doncic, Shea, maybe Wemby at some point. I think we're going to see them try to go for that record now because the stigma's been broken.
I mean that, and that's fair. I think they should. I think Wemby could score 100. I think if anybody in today's game can score 100 points, I'm going with the 7'5" demigod. Like I'm going with the 7'5". He can pull from 40, but he's also 7'5", so the basket's like right here. Like I'm going with Wemby. I think Wemby could score 100. I think Luka could for sure score 100. Like, yeah, I think the record. It's about time somebody got close. You know what I'm saying? Like it's about time somebody got. I remember Dame. It was like Dame, Luka, Donovan Mitchell, and Embiid. Right? They all had 70 within like 13 months, like the same calendar year. Why stop at 70? Like, keep going. Like, keep going. You know what I'm saying?
What's the most that you've ever scored at any level of basketball?
Uh, I had at 30, at 30 in a AAU tournament. At 30. Yeah, 30. That's my high.
So this is a much lesser scale level. I'm going to put that out here front. Some people who may be watching may know what I'm talking about. Upward Basketball. It's a church affiliated basketball league. It's
I
generally
started in
meant
upper, man.
for
I know if
kids that
I
are
started in
like,
upper. Absolutely.
yeah. So it's generally geared for people who are in like kindergarten to max of seventh grade. I played upward basketball before I transitioned into middle school basketball, and my career high was 44. And that was like the most Herculean effort that I've ever had to like. But and I wasn't playing good basketball players. I can look back objectively and go, wow, these kids sucked. If I knew then what I knew now, I'd score 100. Period. But
For sure.
44 was surmountable. I was going for 50. I just couldn't. I just ran out of gas at the end. So for you to be able to have the stamina to get to 50, 60, 70, 80 is insane. So the fact that we're talking about these superhuman athletes being able to even get close to that, it just proves how good of a league this is and how lucky we are to be able to watch it.
100%. It really does goes to show. And as someone who works with athletes, you get to really see why there's levels to this shit. Like there's levels to every sport. There's as good as you are, there's an upper room. And with that upper room, there's another upper room. Like there's really levels. You made it like as great as these athletes are, yeah, a lot of them they get subbed out, you know, whatever, they're probably gas, like you said. And it's crazy because you think like, oh, they're the best of the best. They're the elite, you know. But it's like, nah, they get gas too. That's how tough it is. For Kobe to score 81 was impressive. And no one has taken away from that simply because Bam has scored 83. And I think that's where a lot of the issue came in. Like I don't know why, but like people were thinking Bam is now better than Kobe all time because he broke his record. I'm just like, I don't know where that came from. Only thing Bam did was break a record. He scored 2 more points in a basketball game. That is it. Other than that, Kobe is still, in my opinion, top five all time. You know, I have him in my top five. Bam Adebayo does not move into my top five simply because he scored 83 points. Like it doesn't work like that. And I feel like a lot of people that's how they felt. Like I said, Kobe fans, but just basketball fans in general, they felt like Bam is now this all-time great player. So they felt the need to diminish his performance by calling out the amount of free throws or whatever. It, it's all dumb to me. It's like, I get so frustrated, as you can see, just with the 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 narratives and the way people talk about basketball. You know,
Yeah, respectfully to Mr. Wilson, I think that he is about 5 NBA championships short, 2 Finals MVPs, a regular season MVP, 10 All Defenses. Like he's got a long way to go before he's even in the pantheon of the greats, and he's already like. If we're being objective about it, we're probably already at the halfway point of his career. So unless he has a stellar back nine, I think he's going to miss the mark by a pretty big margin.
yeah. I mean, I don't get it. So far behind Kobe. Like, forget Kobe. There's other guys he has to catch up. Shea, he's far behind. He's far behind Shea. He's far behind Luka. Like there's so many other guys he has to get to. The only thing he did to pass Kobe was just score 2 more points in the game. Not that big of a deal, you know. And it reminds me, I don't know if you've seen it, but Carson from Nerd Sesh, he tweeted about DeMar DeRozan passing shot. You saw it. You saw it.
Yeah, I did.
Saw it. I don't understand the correlation between DeMar passing Shaq in points, but DeMar being worse, or DeMar's teams being better with him not on the court. I don't understand the correlation. I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me in my mind. I just don't. And Carson's usually good with giving context. I'm a big fan of Nerd Sesh. I have nothing against Carson, but I just don't see the correlation.
Yeah, I also am a huge fan of the Nerd Sesh guys. Even his better half, who does mainly football, even though I don't follow football as a sport. I think that both of them together have really good chemistry. They run a really nice show. I liked the original tweet from Carson where he says that he thought it was disturbing. The way that I interpreted it was we don't associate DeMar DeRozan as one of the greatest scorers of all time, even though we should, because he's maintained this level of consistency for his entire career. And when we think of Shaq, we think 40 points in the or 34 points in the NBA Finals, 60-point games. Like we think of those kind of things. And he had a great prime, but he Celtic Shaq is a meme for a reason because he wasn't good. So I interpreted it as, hey, that's weird to think about. And then I saw Debo respond. And if that were me, if I were Carson in that situation, I would have just been like, hey, man, I'm sorry. I should have worded that better. Here's what I meant by that. Instead of going, yeah, well, actually, your on-off numbers and your plus minus. And dude, that is an NBA player that we're talking about, man. Like,
bro, I mean, listen, Carson stood 10 toes. I respect it. And I like Carson. That tweet does not. I don't feel any different about Carson. I'm still gonna watch Nerd Sesh. I have nothing against Carson. I just don't understand the point to bring that up. That teams are better without him, in correlation to him about to be top 10 all time in points. It doesn't mean he's better than Shaq. It doesn't mean he's higher all time than Shaq. Once again, he just scored more points. And he hasn't even done it yet. He still has to do like what 18 for another 105 games. Like
yeah, it's gonna be 2028 before we're having this conversation.
Exactly. Like he hasn't even done it yet. I respect Carson for standing 10 toes. Like DeMar responded to Carson was like, I'm not backing down, bro. I respect that. I just don't understand like the correlation and tweeting that without context. I made a video on it and somebody commented that Kawhi did what DeMar, what DeMar couldn't do with the same team. I was like, cool. How does that correlate with DeMar passing Shaq? And then he made the argument about Shaq, and it's like, see, now you're making it about Shaq when it's supposed to be about DeMar. It's pointless. It's like DeMar's just scoring more points, and he's a great scorer. And the fact that I think it's more impressive that he's done it without shooting threes. I think that's the most, like, DeMar does not shoot threes. Bro about to have 30,000 from mid-range. That's insane to think about.
DeMar's one of those guys that if, I don't know many people who are purposely watching Kings basketball right now, but he's one of those guys that if you told me at the end of the year he hit 7 threes all year, I go, yeah, I believe that. For sure.
Yeah. That's just DeMar. Like DeMar doesn't shoot. He doesn't shoot threes. It's elbow. It's short corner. It's turnaround, post ups. Like that. That is what DeMar does. I mean, I love his game. I love the mid range. Like when I play pickup now, from time to time, like I'm working the mid range. I'm not stepping out. I'll be real with you. I may shoot one. If it doesn't fall, hey, I'm going right back to the elbow. Give me the ball at the elbow, man. But I think it's more impressive that like he's about to be top 10 without threes. He's a guard, essentially. Like with Shaq, yeah. Shaq was 7'2", 300 pounds. Nobody's stopping that. DeMar's a guard. And he's about to score 28,000 whatever points with no threes. Like, yeah, that's quite impressive. I think we should start giving I mean, DeMar deserves his flowers, 100%. There's a lot of guys that don't get the respect that they deserve, that they should. You're a Celtics fan. I'm gonna be real with you. Jaylen Brown. I'm gonna give my boy his flowers. Jalen's been cooking. Jalen's been cooking. I'm happy Jason's back. I'm happy Jason. You guys got Jason back. I was supposed to ask this question earlier, but we got caught up in a lot of other ball talk. How do you feel about your guys going into the postseason?
I feel better than what I did 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago before Jason Tatum officially came back. Seeing him act as if he never got hurt in the first place has been really encouraging to me. I thought the only time that I was going to see it in my lifetime was with Kevin Durant when he acted like he never got hurt from his Achilles, which was an anomaly in that season as well.
For sure.
What was important to me was I knew essentially that Jason was probably not going to be the scorer that he was before the injury. But as long as he was the rebounder that he was and the facilitator and the defender that he was, defense I would take like a 15% hit on. Like if he was 85% of the defender he was, I'd call that as a win. The fact that on those three accounts outside of scoring, he hasn't missed a beat has been super impressive because people who watch Boston Celtics basketball or just watch high level basketball in general know how good of a rebounder Jason Tatum is. They know how good of a defender he is. They know how big of a facilitator he is. He's going to get Neemias Queta a $100 million contract the next time that it's re-upped, all because he's able to get him the ball in the perfect spots. He's fantastic at playmaking. But since he's come back, he's turned into the Andre Drummond of 7 years ago, prime rebounding Andre Drummond, and Nikola Jokic on passing. It's ludicrous. So I feel a lot better about our chances now, especially with, Cade coming back from the collapsed lung. And even though the Pistons, shout out to the Pistons, they haven't missed a beat with him being out of the lineup. I'm not sure that they're ready to take the leap yet. We talk about teams having to have battle scars. The Celtics already have theirs. The Pistons don't have theirs yet, especially not at this high level. We're probably going to meet them in the Eastern Conference Finals. So I think that there's a good chance that the Celtics, on a gap year, on a year that we're supposed to be the 12th seed, make it to the NBA Finals. And honestly, if it comes down to a 7-game series and we have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and they don't, I like our odds.
I'm going to be real with you. If the Pistons see the Celtics, we might have some beef for the Eastern Conference Finals. I love Cade Cunningham. I was rooting for Detroit last year. They should have beat the Knicks, in my opinion. But yeah, so if the Pistons see Boston, we may not talk for a while. It's not personal, but really know ahead of time, it's not personal. But before we wrap it up, man, let's ask a couple kind of rapid fire questions just to wrap it up. So, as a Boston Celtics fan, I need your all-time Boston Celtics starting five. Who are you putting in your all-time starting five?
Oh man. Well, this is my list, and I'm going to make it like super biased. Bill Russell, greatest Celtic of all time. Period. End of story. Kevin Garnett is my favorite player of all time. So while you could probably make an argument for somebody else to be in that spot, he's going to go at my 4, especially for the defensive versatility. I wish that we had more spacing, but I guess a 22-foot jumper is just as good as a 3. Why not?
The long twos, man.
Give me Rondo at the 1. He is the greatest facilitator I've ever seen at play for the Celtics. It's really hard to argue that. Give me, and I feel like I'm going to ruffle some feathers in my own Celtics fandom here. Give me Jalen at the 2.
Oh.
And it's going to have to be JT at the 3. We're going to be super long, super versatile. No one's going to score on us. And with Jason and Jalen, we're going to put up buckets.
Wow. So we got Rondo, KG, Bill Russell, JT, JB. No Ray Allen, no Paul Pierce, no Larry Bird.
Well, you see, here now. I want to get out in front of this now because I can already feel somebody flaming me in the comments.
Oh,
Larry Bird.
This is going on TikTok, brother. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This is the clip right here. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Larry Bird was a good shooter. He wasn't a volume shooter. So I feel like there's a misnomer. It's like, well, if you just put him in today's NBA, he's shooting 12 threes. Probably not. Like his coach is probably going to ask him to, but that wasn't his game. You can't tell Larry Legend what to do. He's going to still hit the mid-range jump shot. He's still going to operate off the elbow. Like, I just don't. When people say put this guy in today's NBA and he's going to be Steph Curry, that's 6'9", I just don't believe that. That doesn't seem like it's accurate to me. And
Yes.
I love Paul Pierce. Going back even further, I love Hondo. Ray Allen betrayed us, but I do love Ray Allen. There's so many guys that I want to put on this list, but when you think about the versatility of the game to be able to play in any era, to play any style of basketball, I think that's the five that gets it done.
Not gonna argue. Not gonna argue. Ray Allen. Ray Allen got my goat another ring, so I love him to death. If you could go back to watch any sporting event, any sport, I know you're a bit of a soccer fan too. You know, I did my homework, so soccer, basketball, whatever. You could go back and watch any sporting event, any time period. What are you going to see?
That is tough. Are we talking to like I'm there at the game live or just being able to
You
like
are
experience
you
it?
are front row, court side, whatever it is, you're there.
Boy, that's tough. Okay. As you know, this is we are basketball content creators. I'm gonna have to go with the 2022 World Cup final where Messi finally got his white whale. I
I respect that. Soccer's huge. I respect that. The World Cup is the only time I watch soccer, honestly, just like everybody else. That's a good one.
just to give people like a brief synopsis of the game. So I'm a huge footy fan, have been since the 2014 World Cup. Messi's my goat, always has been, always will be. I was watching the game in my living room, and my girlfriend was sitting next to me, and she like watched the game, but had her phone in her hand the whole time. Argentina goes up 2-0, pretty handily, and it's like the 60th, almost 70th minute. Kylian Mbappe for France scores 2 goals in the blink of an eye. I am already shut down as a fan. I've mentally prepared myself to hoist the World Cup trophy with Messi in about 20 minutes. And then Mbappe happens. And I go, wow, what a Avengers level threat this guy is. Okay. And then they both score one more. It's 3-3 heading into extras. Argentina's goalkeeper makes the save of a lifetime to be able to stop it from them losing in extra time. And then it goes to penalties and it goes all the way down. Oh my god, dude. That's the best sport game I have ever seen in my life. I would have given my soul to be there live.
Great answer. We had a great answer. All right, last one, then we'll wrap it up. Uh, you're an Olympiacos fan, right? Goes they win the next 10 years of the FIBA World Cup and the EuroLeague Championship, but the Boston Celtics have to go 0-82 for the next 10 years in return. Are you
Yikes.
taking
What
that deal?
a
Are you taking that deal? Is that a yes for you?
what a catch 22. So I have only been able to witness one Olympiacos championship. I've been able to witness two Celtics ones. And here's the thing about European basketball and the EuroLeague specifically that I don't think a lot of people uh, pay attention to, understand. Their market works the exact same way that the European football market works. There's not trades. There's buying out contracts. There's a transfer market. There's all these things. Because of that, because there's so much money being flown like through and to these particular franchises, there's less stability
Yeah,
in
nah, it's fair.
players than what there was. Like for instance, Thomas Walkup, who used to play for TCU back in the day in the like 2016 range. He had a March Madness moment, unfortunately, against my West Virginia Mountaineers. He plays for Olympiacos, and he's been there for like 6 years. And I don't check me on this. I'm fairly certain that he's the longest tenured or the second longest tenured guy there.
Yeah,
And I love Sasha Vezenkov. I love Thomas Walkup now that he's not playing against my favorite college team. Evan Fournier has done really well. Like there are guys that are doing well, but if we had somebody like Kendrick Nunn is playing for Panathinaikos now, which
Yeah.
is Olympiacos' rival. If
Yeah.
we had someone like that, this supernova of a talent, be that good and play at Olympiacos for 10 years and we still don't get over the hump, I think I would be more inclined to say, you know what, I would like to see a run of dominance by my favorite EuroLeague team. But because I can't like attach my wagon to a player like I could with Kevin Garnett or Isaiah Thomas or Jaylen Brown now, I just don't think that I can make myself say yes to that deal. I think I'm going to have to go with the Celtics still being
Fair.
pretty good.
That's fair. That's fair. I get that 110%. I had to make you think a little bit. You did me dirty with my John Wall and LeBron question. I haven't forgotten about that. But no, man, I appreciate you for hopping on the pod with me, man, coming to talk some ball with me, for being on the season 2 first episode of the Market Down pod. I really appreciate you. And with that, that wraps up this episode of the Market Down podcast. Once again, I've been your host, Coach Mark. This has been my guy, Mr. Roundball Renaissance. I will be plugging all his socials in the description. Feel free to give him a follow. He makes great and amazing basketball content. Like we both agreed, he's one of the best at it. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.